Working the night shift at Walmart had always been a solitary experience. I, a lone employee tasked with restocking shelves and ensuring the store retained its pristine appearance, often found solace in the quiet routine. However, one fateful night would shatter that sense of tranquility and plunge me into the depths of a horror I never imagined. As the clock struck midnight, I ventured into the dimly lit aisles armed with a dolly stacked with merchandise. The hum of the fluorescent lights overhead and the occasional buzz of a flickering bulb set an eerie tone, casting long shadows across the labyrinth of products. Little did I know that the silence would soon be shattered by a terror I could never anticipate. As I approached the electronics section, I heard an unsettling sound, an echoing whisper that seemed to linger in the air. My senses heightened, and a chill ran down my spine. I strained my ears, trying to discern the source of the mysterious murmurs. The aisles, once familiar and comforting, now felt like a maze of uncertainty. A soft shuffling sound reached my ears, and I turned to see a figure emerging from the shadows. A customer, I assumed, but something about their demeanor immediately struck me as odd. The person moved with a hesitant gait, their face obscured by the hood of a tattered hoodie. "Excuse me, sir, can I help you find something?" I called out, attempting to maintain a friendly tone despite the unsettling atmosphere. No response. The figure continued to shuffle towards me, their movements erratic and almost dance-like. I squinted, attempting to catch a glimpse of their face, but it remained veiled in darkness. As the person drew nearer, I noticed a distinct unease in their posture. They seemed agitated, perhaps even frightened. The air became charged with an inexplicable tension, and I instinctively took a step back, glancing around for any sign of assistance. The flickering lights cast erratic shadows, distorting the figure's silhouette. My heart raced as I realized the person was muttering something unintelligible, their voice trembling with fear. I strained to understand their words, but they seemed lost in a trance as if trapped in a nightmare. Attempting to de-escalate the situation, I spoke again, my voice now laced with concern. "Are you okay? Can I call someone for you?" Suddenly, the hooded figure stopped, its head snapping up to reveal hollow eyes filled with sheer terror. At that moment, a gut-wrenching scream tore through the stillness of the store, echoing off the shelves and reverberating in the empty spaces. Panic surged through me as I fumbled for my phone to call for assistance. The scream continued, morphing into an anguished wail that sent shivers down my spine. It was a sound born of pure horror, a cry that seemed to pierce through the very fabric of reality. As I dialed 911, the hooded figure collapsed to the floor, convulsing in silent agony. I could only watch in horror as their body contorted, shadows playing tricks on my eyes. The ambient noise of the store seemed to fade away, leaving only the haunting wail and the rhythmic hum of the flickering lights. Minutes later, the distant wail subsided, and the figure lay motionless on the floor. Trembling, I cautiously approached, unsure of what I would find. My heart sank as I realized the person had seemingly vanished, leaving behind only the chilling echo of their torment. The police arrived shortly after, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. I recounted the bizarre encounter, but the officers could find no trace of the mysterious visitor. They searched the store thoroughly, scrutinizing every shadowy corner, but the hooded figure had disappeared without a trace. In the days that followed, I couldn't shake the memory of that night, the haunted gaze, the unearthly wail, and the inexplicable disappearance. The once familiar aisles now harbored a lingering sense of dread, and the flickering lights held a silent reminder of the terror that had unfolded during that fateful night shift at Walmart.
The humming of the fluorescent lights seemed to mock the silence that engulfed the vast expanse of Walmart as I went about my nightly routine. Working the graveyard shift had its perks, fewer customers, less chaos. But tonight, a sinister undercurrent lurked beneath the tranquility. As a lone female employee, my nightly ritual involved traversing the labyrinthine aisles and restocking shelves with products destined for anonymous shopping carts. For days, a faceless male customer had been a persistent presence, his unsettling gaze following my every move. An uneasiness had settled within me, but I dismissed it as paranoia, attributing it to the peculiar atmosphere that came with the eerie quiet of the night. It wasn't until I noticed him lingering in the shadows of aisle 7 that the knots in my stomach tightened. I brushed off my anxiety, chiding myself for succumbing to baseless fears. His gaunt face, perpetually hidden beneath the hood of his dark hoodie, gave nothing away. Yet, there was something about the way his eyes locked onto mine, sending shivers down my spine. As the days passed, his presence evolved into a silent, persistent companion. He never uttered a word, but his proximity felt like an unspoken threat. Each night, I found him in a different aisle, always there, always watching. My attempts to shake off the dread only intensified the suffocating feeling that I was being hunted. One ominous night, the store echoed with eerie stillness. I glanced around, a sinking feeling gripping my chest. The unnerving familiarity of his silhouette appeared, sending a chill through my veins. Heart pounding, I quickened my pace, weaving through aisles in a futile attempt to escape the relentless gaze that pursued me. Suddenly, the overhead speakers crackled to life, the distorted voice announcing a maintenance issue in aisle 9. My eyes widened in terror. That was my destination. My only escape route now compromised. I hesitated for a moment, debating whether to confront the fear or seek refuge in the employee break room. Gulping down my anxiety, I continued toward aisle 9, feigning composure. The flickering lights cast eerie shadows, creating an ominous backdrop for the impending encounter. As I approached the aisle, a cold draft whispered through the shelves, and the hooded figure materialized before me, his eyes, devoid of humanity, locked onto mine. Panic seized me, but a force within pushed me to maintain a facade of normalcy. I plastered a tight-lipped smile, my voice quivering, as I asked if he needed assistance. His response was a chilling silence that hung heavy in the air. I attempted to retreat, but he mirrored my every step, moving with an unnatural fluidity. Panic escalated to terror as I fumbled for my phone, ready to dial 911. His hollow gaze fixated on the device, a twisted smirk forming beneath the hood. In the claustrophobic confines of aisle 9, surrounded by towering shelves, I felt the walls closing in. Desperation fueled my fight-or-flight response, and I sprinted toward the exit. His ominous presence trailed behind, a malevolent force hell-bent on my demise. As I burst through the automatic doors into the cold night, relief washed over me. The flickering lights of Walmart cast a haunting glow on the parking lot. I dialed 911, gasping for breath, recounting the relentless pursuit that had escalated into a nightmare. Law enforcement arrived swiftly, combing through the store with a determination that mirrored my desperation to escape. Yet, the hooded figure eluded capture, leaving behind an unsettling void in the aisles. The police assured me they would increase patrols, but the fear lingered, an insidious specter that haunted my every step. Days turned into sleepless nights as I cast furtive glances over my shoulder, haunted by the possibility of encountering those haunting eyes once again. The terror within the walls of Walmart had left an indelible mark, a chilling reminder that the shadows, once unnoticed, could harbor unimaginable horrors. And as the darkness settled over the quiet town, I questioned whether I could ever truly escape the shadows of aisle 9. The moon hung low in the ink-black sky as I, a curious 12-year-old named Jake, found myself caught in a sinister game of hide-and-seek within the colossal confines of Hollisville's abandoned Walmart. Laughter and whispers echoed through the empty aisles, the eerie glow of flickering fluorescent lights casting long, ominous shadows. It all began innocently enough. My friends and I, seeking thrills on a moonlit night, decided to explore the legendary haunted Walmart. As we played hide-and-seek, I darted through the labyrinth of empty shelves, my heart pounding with both excitement and fear. The vastness of the superstore swallowed me whole. In the dimly lit maze of forgotten goods, I lost track of time and space. The laughter of my friends faded into the distant background, replaced by the unsettling hum of silence. Panic crept over me as I realized I was utterly alone, swallowed by the vastness of Walmart's spectral emptiness. Desperation set in as I stumbled through deserted aisles, the cold air sending shivers down my spine. The once familiar surroundings now twisted into an unsettling maze, the towering shelves creating shadows that seemed to come alive with every step I took. Suddenly, I found myself in a section of the store that felt different, more foreboding. A hushed silence enveloped the air, broken only by the distant sound of my footsteps. Fear gnawed at me as I became aware of a shadowy figure lurking in the periphery. A flicker of movement caught my eye, and I froze. There, amidst the dimly lit shelves, was a man. A disheveled figure with wild eyes and a tangled beard. He was no ordinary stranger. The look in his eyes spoke of a disturbed mind, one that had long evaded the grasp of law and order. My breath caught in my throat as I realized that the maniac before me was not playing a child's game of hide and seek. He was hiding, not from my friends, but from something far more menacing, the authorities. With a sinking feeling, I comprehended that I had stumbled upon the refuge of a fugitive. His gaze met mine, a sinister smile playing on his lips. The stark realization that I was alone with a maniac in the cavernous Walmart paralyzed me with terror. My instincts screamed at me to run, but the vastness of the superstore had become a nightmarish labyrinth. Panic turned my surroundings into a distorted maze, and every attempt to find an exit led me deeper into the clutches of the ominous figure. The maniac's eyes gleamed with sinister glee as he stepped into the feeble light, revealing a rusted blade clutched in his trembling hand. Fear surged through me like a tidal wave, and I stumbled backward, my heart pounding in my ears. A twisted game of cat and mouse unfolded as I darted through the aisles, desperately trying to evade the relentless pursuer. The shadows seemed to close in around me, and the distant echoes of my friends' laughter now felt like haunting taunts from another world. In the suffocating silence, the maniac's footsteps echoed ominously behind me. His crazed laughter filled the air, the sound bouncing off the empty shelves like a malevolent symphony. My breath came in ragged gasps as I realized that escape was a distant dream within the labyrinthine nightmare. With each passing moment, the maniac gained ground, his unhinged laughter growing louder. The metallic scent of fear permeated the air as I rounded a corner and found myself facing a dead end. Trapped, I turned to confront the looming nightmare that had become my reality. The maniac's wild eyes bore into mine as he raised the blade, the flickering light casting dancing shadows on his contorted face. In that chilling moment, I braced for the inevitable, the echoes of my friend's laughter fading into a haunting requiem. But fate had other plans. As the maniac lunged forward, a sudden cacophony of police sirens shattered the silence. The fugitive froze, the realization of his impending capture etched across his face. In the blinding glare of flashlights, law enforcement officers stormed the desolate aisle, apprehending the maniac before he could reach me. As the nightmare subsided, I stood frozen amidst the wreckage of abandoned shelves, my heart still racing. The Walmart that had once been a playground for hide and seek now harbored a darker truth, a tale of a fugitive seeking refuge within its haunted halls. As the police led the maniac away, I emerged from the shadows, the weight of the nightmarish encounter etched into my young soul. The once inviting Walmart had transformed into a chilling labyrinth where innocence collided with the malevolence that lurked within its forgotten corners. In the moonlit aftermath, I emerged from the haunted superstore, forever haunted by the shadows of that fateful night. The laughter of my friends, once carefree, now echoed with an unsettling cadence, a reminder that even in the most mundane places, darkness could take hold, turning childhood games into harrowing nightmares.